shop. Where are we going? We going to the shop? Race shop. A couple of my favorite things here. The beach and Victory Lane. Come on. Drive the speed limit, people. Oh, I'm speeding. All right, so shop day. And sometimes people wonder, what do I do? What do I do? So I do help with the car. Go check out the trailer. I pretty much do all the shock stuff and pick my setups. This is Lacey. Hey, Lacey.
Hi.
So she does all the maintenance during the week and kind of make sure everything's organized. We're picking this shock today. I kind of already went over the springs I wanted. I know it's these two here. And we're gonna kind of go over setup and just kind of get the car ready for Kokomo this upcoming weekend. At the race shop today, Joe is working on stickers. Boy, that sucks. Because we got brand new cars. These two are Justin's. What are you doing? Here's one of mine. I believe this is my brand new car. I had two brand new cars, but I hurt one in Ocala. So this was last year's car, but it got a new body. The pavement car. Man, this thing's badass. We're putting Swanson in it this year because I'm just busy. And he's good on the pavement.
You're a little bit strong. You got it.
Oh my yesterday. So, in order to block this thing, you have to take all the springs off of it, get the helper springs off of it, and just block it with just the spring that you're running. So this is kind of the normal for me. You come in, take it all apart. Has it got the right spring on it? It's got the right spring on it already. Had some turns cranked in her. So, take all the turns out of it, try to get it up to block. And block is just standard, you know, just starting point on the night. It's just a reference point, really. You'll hear teams say blocking the car, and all blocking the car is literally these blocks underneath are set to a certain height. And that sets the front end at a certain height. So when we set it on the ground, we can kind of do our measurements and stuff. But, so, pull this little clip off. Get rid of this clip real quick. Pull that off. Pull this helper spring out, and basically just put this back in without the helper spring. And I don't do it like everybody else does, but this seemed to work for me. All right, so now it's just got the collar and the regular spring we're gonna run, and I'll go ahead and set it and block it at height. So basically, you can see how this has some jiggle in it, right? And it's got some play there. So we just run this up until there's no play. And that's what we call basically blocked at neutral. You can see how this is loose. We'll run this thing up. And once it's set neutral, now the front end is even across if you set it on the ground, and then from here we'll kind of do turns in and out and to set it up. So at this point I'm kind of set. I can lock this down real quick, doing this one-handed, holding the camera. Oh, and there's dirt in there, go figure. Okay, so now that's locked down. I can just pull this thing off. So now, boom, this thing is set to where we're going to start the night. So same thing here. This is the left front. We're headed to Kokomo, so we don't get too aggressive on the left front with spring, because well, that place is just kind of stuck on the right rear aggressive. I don't know where my clip is, but I'll have to go find a clip. So that's pretty much ready to go. I gotta throw some zip ties on the clamps, and then it'll be pretty much ready to set on the ground. All right, so we're all back together. We got zip tied up, we got the cable on, we got all the springs on, we're blocked. I did kick them out to hook it all up, but now we're ready to set the front end on the ground. All right, so on this one, I just have to change the spring real quick. So I'll take some load out of it. Shock cable's kind of in the way. I'll take some load off of it, and extra stuff to kind of hold you up. Slip that off. Slip the one we want on for the weekend. We were just indoor racing with this thing, so indoor races kind of run a different package, you could say. All right, where's the bolt? In my hand. So kind of same thing. We have a block underneath there. We just kind of run it up until it's kind of, I have a feeling I'm gonna need a little looser on this one. But that's just to get it set down on the ground. Can't forget the zip ties. Zip tie these collars to the spring, that way they don't catch sideways and keeps everything centered. Tired of this town. Oh, mama. Oh, yeah. Put on that palm dress. Cut those with some side cuts and we'll be ready. All right, so we're over here on the right rear. Got the zip ties on. This one's all blocked and set to set on the ground. Just need to hook up a shock cable here. The shocks we run on these are CSI shocks, and they're all, oh, the cable's a little tight. They're all adjustable in the cockpit with a knob. So it's pretty handy when you're racing and you can change the compression or rebound. This is actually a rebound adjustment. The compression would be down here. So we have that here, but this particular shock doesn't run compression. It's just rebound only. And you can see here, we got knobs and right there, you're just letting out turns, and it basically makes it an easy up. So you can go from just a straight 5 on compression and rebound, and then make it a 5-1, kind of like a drag racer would, you know, to get a launch. There's no rear bumper, so I get a little bit more. Thanks. See, I'm not big, so I bring in the big guys to lift it. All right, now she's on the ground. Don't really mess with the front much. I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I could pretty much look at it and tell you if I like it. And from the back here, it actually looks pretty good just sitting there. Being that it's the coil car, it's not so much like the bar car where you can just block it and set it up and go. So we do ride heights, and let's see here. We're a little bit high, but ultimately, I stare at it for a while. If it looks fast, and it's looking fast right now, I think it's good to go, you know. And as always, this RMS Racing team brings me the best of the best. Love these guys, and pretty excited about going to Kokomo. So now that one's pretty much set up, you know, we'll do the stagger and air pressure and everything at the track. And I'll probably scale it, but I can't let you guys see too much. So on to the next car, which is the spare car, which is a brand new car they just built, new body, and pretty much kind of go over this. I pick out a set of shocks for it and make sure that it's on the ground and set up basically what we just did. It looks like, yeah, they got belts in it and everything. So I'll get in the car and make sure the belts fit right. Look, I was working on finding a belt and I cut myself on a zip tie. Tastes like blood. I bleed just like everybody. Feels like home. Oh yeah. That kind of stings. Well, belt check. Well, I was ready to work on that, but it looks like we got some lunch going. And Dave and Joe and everybody, nobody messes around. All right, so we got the shocks on it, got our studs. We are ready to go get tires and wheels for this thing and set it on the ground. So let's go. So here's our tire room, and Oh, Dave, don't mess around. Let's see here. Grab a 2-off wheel here, because we start on a 2-off. Grab a smaller left rear, 77.5, that'll do. One-handed here, so bear with me. And then we need some front tires. Looks like there's a right front, there's a right front. We need another left front. That one's probably a left front. I'll pick one out and we'll get them on the car. Well, got it on the ground. Got all the right shocks and springs on it, and getting ready to put a tape measure on it and do our baseline setup for it. And then at least this thing, when it's loaded in the trailer as a spare, if we need it, we roll it out and it's ready to hit the track. Kind of a baseline setup on the springs, but you know, we hope we don't have to run it. Our primary car over here. Got it all done, and now we're just waiting for the sticker guy to show up. Been working on, the guy's been wrapping Justin's cars today. Big NOS energy drink right there. Time to stop cameraing around and get back to work. So basically the car's a little high off the measurement, so I'm just gonna lower it down a little bit and groove out to some slightly stupid. Ooh, close there. So it's never the same with the springs because different spring rates, so you can't quite block it the same. I was a little low on the right rear, but I was a little high on the left rear. And man, changing one changes the other, so just makes it easier to do our ride heights here at the shop, because at the track you're working on dirt. See, so now I'm good on the right rear, but I'm low on the left rear. Because I was talking to the camera, not paying attention to how many turns I did. That's okay. Bam! On the money. Well, now she's all set up, ready to come out of the trailer. But we still have a lot of odds and ends. We got cables to put on it, and this one doesn't have a header. You can see the X's. This is this panel kind of got tore up, so we're gonna put new panel on it. We're just kind of waiting for that. But I think, you know, the setup wise, we're pretty ready to go on this one. So finishing up around the shop. There's always things to do, because on race cars, until they are race ready, they're not ready. And it's not race ready until it's in line, driver in it, at the racetrack. So we just work on these things nonstop. Well, I think that's a wrap. It's about time for me to go pick up my kid. That's what we do it for right there, though.